Hi guys, this is Alex here from Body Fit Physiotherapy Clinic in Hawagan, Pakuranga, and from the Growing Younger team. Now, a question that I'm being asked quite a lot by my patients, particularly patients over the age of 40, is running really bad for your joints? Does running actually give you arthritis? Does it actually cause more wear and tear in our legs? Now, to give you an answer to this question, I've actually gone away and done a bit of research. I've actually looked at some of the latest studies on this topic. And what I actually discovered will actually surprise you. Okay, so I found this study done in 2013. And what they actually did is they took 90,000 people. So it's quite a large study involving a lot of people, which actually gives it a lot of credibility. Now, I think 75,000 of these people were runners and 15,000 were just people who walk regularly, okay? So what they actually wanted to find out is they wanted to follow up these people over a period of 5 to 7 years to see if those people who run actually have a high risk of developing osteoarthritis or hip replacement, or where they at risk of getting hip replacement surgery. So these are the results. So they follow these people up for, as I said, 5 to 7 years. And what they actually found is that those people who do kind of mild running or a little bit of running, okay, their risk of getting osteoarthritis of the hip joint was actually 18% less than people who didn't run at all or ran very little, okay? So it seems like if you're a runner, your risk of getting arthritis is actually less, okay, which is in contrary to a common belief that I keep hearing all the time. So another thing they found is that the risk of having to do a hip replacement surgery if you're a runner is 35% less. So it's a third. Your chances of getting a hip replacement if you're a runner are less by a third. So quite a significant amount. Now, they also looked at people who ran a lot more or at a lot higher intensity. And the difference between those people who ran a little bit, like say 20 minutes a day, and those people who did marathons and did a lot more running and a lot more intense running, the difference wasn't actually that much. So what it actually means for you is that you don't have to be a marathon runner or triathlete. As long as you do a little bit of running, maybe 3-4 times a week, sort of 20 to 40 minutes each. It seems to be definitely beneficial for you, not only for your general health, for your heart and your lungs and everything else, but it's actually good for your joints. Now, here's another finding that the scientists have actually found in the study. They actually analyzed the data even further. And what they actually found is that this benefit of running is probably caused by the fact that those people who run actually they carry less weight. Okay, so it is likely that this result is caused by the fact that people who run carry less weight. They're less likely to be overweight. Okay, and what they actually found here is that in the same study is that you probably heard about BMI. BMI is basically your height to weight ratio, okay? And what they actually found is that for each one BMI point, if your BMI is one point higher, you have a 5% higher chance of developing osteoarthritis. And for each one BMI point, you also have 9.8, so pretty much 10% higher chance of having to have hip replacement surgery. Okay, so if you're not familiar with BMI, so for most people, normal BMI is between 18 and 25. Okay, so one BMI point, roughly for a person of, let's say, a sort of an average height between 5'6" and 6 feet tall. So you're looking probably at about 3 kg. Okay, so one BMI point for most people would be equal to 3 kg. Okay, so essentially if you are a little bit overweight, for each 3 kgs being overweight, you face 5% higher risk of developing osteoarthritis. So let's say if you're overweight by 9 kg, your risk of developing osteoarthritis of the hip joint 3 times that, so that's 15% higher. Okay, so what this study demonstrates is that running is actually good for you. Not only is good for your health, but it's actually good for your leg joints, particularly for your hip joint. And basically, being overweight is not. If you're carrying extra weight, it places more stress on your joints, it places more stress on your hips, and it puts you at higher risk of developing osteoarthritis of the hip joint, and puts you at higher risk of having to have surgery done on your hip. All right. Now, if you have any questions, it's quite a new, it's very new study, a new sort of development. So if you have any questions, get in touch with us. We'll be happy to discuss it further. Okay. Otherwise, if you feel that you need any help with your hips or knees, give us a call. We're happy to see you for a free assessment. Number to call us is 09 532 8942. Okay. See you next time.